Hello and welcome to Every Day is Earth Day, the podcast. I'm your host, Fiona. And after doing a short little survey on Facebook for topics people would like to hear me talk about here on this podcast, I have quite a few interesting topics for future episodes. Thank you so much for your contribution. I love hearing back from other people and knowing that you're up there and you might be listening, you might be sharing, and you might be curious about life on planet Earth and the fact that every day is Earth Day. Yes, we have our April Earth Day celebration that's more global. And that was my inspiration, looking at it and going, but every day is Earth Day. Every day we're on the Earth. Why do we only focus on the Earth one day out of the year, when there's 364 other days that we can acknowledge and have gratitude and appreciate and receive and gift simultaneous to and with the planet. So I'm just a little excited, a little enthusiastic about the planet. Yes, it's such a beautiful place. Even the places that are being destroyed, whatever your definition of destroy is as well. Because if we were willing to look at nature, nature, is not rigid. It's not static. It's constantly moving and shifting and changing, and things are being born and things are dying and decaying, and that's destruction. In some ways, you could look at it that way too. And what people are doing to it is so intense. And yes, it can be heartbreaking. It can bring us to tears. It can bring us to our knees. We can raise our hands to the sky and wonder why, right? Some people choose to destroy the planet simply because they can, and that actually brings them joy. Yeah. So, what would it take for that to change? What would it take for us to out-create that? Do protests and saving the whales and saving the polar bears and trying to save the earth, has that been working the way it's set up at the moment? I never did understand peaceful protests or protesting war for peace and just protests in general. I wasn't quite sure how that actually created and affected change. I'm sure it did somewhere, and it's just not clear in my universe how, when people get upset and angry and judgmental about, for me it's a lot of just kind of resistance and reaction, and that hasn't really created much in my universe when I do resistance and reaction, for sure. So it's interesting to see the attempt of using resistance and reaction to change these, global things and these big things. Um, so, yeah. So, do you get upset about all of these things? And is that contributing to changing things, even in your own universe? Because really, all you can change is you. And this is gonna lead to other conversations with other topics. But really, how aware and present, how consciously aware and present are you willing to be with the planet? Are you willing to ask what the planet requires just right where you are? Do you ask the planet, is everything okay? I mean, is it going to be destroyed? Is, change occurring? Are things that are out of balance, can they be balanced again? Or are they even out of balance? Or, you know, is what's showing up really the result of all of us being unaware and being unconscious and not willing to be consciously aware with our actions and our choices? And let's cut ourselves some slack. We've done the best we could with the tools that we had. I know for myself, I am truly awakening. I am becoming much more awake and present and conscious with myself, like knowing myself and choosing. And a huge gift has been not judging myself right or wrong or being righteous for what I'm choosing. Really having a sense that what I'm choosing is what works for me, and it's a contribution to the whole. The happier I get, the more things change around the world. When I raise my vibration, when I change my energy, when I get out of that deep dark hole of blame, shame, regret, and guilt, anger, rage, fury, and hate, that's when things change. When I'm no longer in that density or that polarized point of view of right and wrong. And I ask questions. And I really get to ask questions like, okay, what is this going to create? Again, that presence is such a gift. Being present without judgment and having the conscious awareness to be present. For me, that is going to create more change on the planet, for the planet, than other things we've chosen in the past. And again, what if none of that is wrong and none of it was right? It was simply the tool we had at the moment. And there's so many tools out there on the planet. Oh my gosh. So many people love the planet, and so many people have different perspectives on what's required or what could be applied or what could be tried. So what do you know? What do you know that you can continue to perceive, know, be, receive, actualize, implement, engage with, that is changing things for the planet and for everybody on the planet without you having to be in the spotlight? So many of us will never be on the stage and sharing this stuff with a larger, audience. And that's awesome, because many hands make light work is one phrase I've heard. And yeah, when two or more of us come together, we can create amazing change and possibilities. And when we come together without judgment of the rightness or the wrongness of what we're choosing, and we ask questions and we engage, holy moly, the planet is truly a beautiful place to live. So that's what I'm playing with today. I invite you to look at it for yourself as well. Thank you for sharing your topic suggestions. I'm excited to do a few more episodes after this to talk about what you suggested from my perspective, from my interesting point of view, and invite you to join the conversation, join the perspective, join the, energy of whatever that is, and know what you know as well. Because every day is Earth Day. Thanks for being on the planet.